Welcome to the Expert's Journey podcast, where we're all about creating your path to impact. Join your hosts, Dixie Mary Carlton from Indie Expert Publishing and Mr. Web Marketing Brad Houck, as we look at how you can grow your business and influence by leveraging your knowledge for profit. Welcome to the Expert's Journey. Most experts give great talks and then stop there. But what if one talk could spark 10 more opportunities? In this episode, we'll show you how to repurpose your best material into blogs, posts, lead magnets, and even courses. So every stage, every workshop, and every keynote keeps working for you long after you finish speaking. Good morning, Dixie.
Good morning, Brad. That's one heck of a big topic today, how to make more out of all the things that you're already doing.
I just realized we were talking about 10 opportunities and I've got 5 things on my list.
I've probably got the same 5 things on my list. So
It's a great topic. You obviously spend a lot of time getting ready for a gig. And you're up there, you've written your speech, you lay it all out, then you practice, and then you do it again, and then you get on stage and you deliver. And that's a lot of work. And sometimes, if you're like me, I often do not do the same speech twice. So I'm creating fresh content most every time I go on stage. Other speakers, different. But so I need to really take advantage of what I've created. And an example of this is in 2018, I spoke at the Global Speakers Conference in Auckland, and I gave the talk about creating evergreen content. And it's a topic that I'm extremely passionate about. I really, truly believe if you can create evergreen content, then you can keep selling for the rest of your life. I was preparing some stuff the other day and I dug that back out because I had it stored. The PowerPoint was still there. And I actually got some AI to go through it and produce me some information based on the PowerPoint that I've produced. And actually, that's where AI is really good. It was able to go through and pull the information from the slides and then pull information from other places and produce me a really nice piece of information. But it saved me recreating something. It gave me something that I'm going to find really useful because I was using that in conjunction with something else.
Bring up a really good point. You spend a lot of time developing something to just deliver it once to one market or one audience really detracts from your ability to maximize on the time that you put into it. If you take it right back down to the raw facts, you can maybe get paid even $5,000 or $10,000 for a presentation. If you're only delivering it once, then the hourly rate actually diminishes further and further. Every minute that you put into the presentation, to only sell it once seems pointless.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
how do you then make sure that you get more out of having done that presentation? Obviously, you could deliver that same presentation or variations of it to multiple different audiences. And that's what a lot of speakers do. You can also take the recording and sell snippets of it or put parts of it onto your website. You can develop memes of your own content and use that to market yourself. But what about taking that content and saying, if you want this to really be embedded in what it is that you're doing in your company or in your life or whatever it is that the content is about, then why not make it that you come along and you indulge in a whole workshop or indulge in a whole program? Or we can take it from, I like to say that you've got your book, your lead magnet that comes from your book or maybe leads to the book, that you then have the landing page that goes into book me as a speaker, or maybe this works in reverse, so speaking, book, lead magnet. Then from there, you've got a workshop or a webinar, then you've got a series of webinars or workshops, and then you've got a program, and then maybe you've got a one-to-one consulting or coaching program that you might deliver to someone for really big bucks. So you've got like a whole process of ways that you can extrapolate one piece of content. But
there's much you can do with content. And I think that's the key thing. For example, you do a speech, you record the content, and then you transcribe it. Nice and simple place to start. From that, we are now able to create a blog post or an article or something, or we can use as a basis for a series of blog posts if you want to. And I think this is where I really love using AI, is because I can take my transcribed word and then use that and get AI to extrapolate on that. And then I can edit it up and put it on my website or whatever. So you can leverage time a bit rather than sitting and doing it the hard way. But if you want to, you can sit down there and take the transcription and do it yourself if that's what you like. Some people are very specific about that. They want things worded a certain way. More often than not, I see people go on stage and they speak, but they do not actually record what they're doing. And I'm not talking about necessarily having a video camera there and a team of people all fancy. That's not always possible. Sometimes it's a case of what I do is I just, put my mobile phone on a little tripod and stick it in the front table and point it towards where I am. And I say to someone just before I'm about to walk up, I'm going to press record. And they go, yeah, no worries. I'll make sure no one knocks it over us.
You know,
In a small room, that works perfectly well, but you've got the sound. The sound's good enough that you can get a transcription off it. And the video is good enough that you can see how you looked and you can learn a little bit.
absolutely. And then if anything is an issue with the sound or the final version, you can always recreate it because you've practiced it already so many times. Just do a direct to camera version of it and then take some of those snippets out and put them into short pieces that might go on your YouTube channel.
Yeah. And if you want to go ahead and buy a better camera and set it up and all that, 9 times out of 10, the people who are running conferences, depending on the size of the conference, and if it's just a small room, they don't have a problem with you recording. Just got to ask. But the key is to make the recording. And this is where we all fall down. It's okay, I've got the content. I can always recreate it. You never get time to get back and recreate it. What you said on that day will not be what you say next time.
That's right.
You might have the same stories or you might not. You never know, because the way my brain works, I don't always come out with the same stuff every time. I never know what's going to
I can relate to that.
That's right. So you might say something really killer and, it's gone. That audience got it and no one else is going to see it. And yet that could be, the best piece of social media content you've ever produced.
It's the same with the audience questions, right? So if someone might turn around and ask you something that will make you stop and think about whatever you're talking about, maybe even in a completely fresh way because of the way they've asked the question, or because maybe the audience is reacting in a specific way that is really very memorable. Perhaps you get them all standing up and giving you a standing ovation. That's good content for your own marketing. But if you get someone who starts a conversation about something that you're talking about and it's really good and relevant, that gives you a whole extra snippet of content as well to then further move on from. Some of the best content comes out of the frequently asked questions that you get asked when you are either on stage or off stage, even at the dinner table. So finding those nuggets of things that people want to know more about, that's where you get good value.
Yeah. And look, there's a lot of tools coming out now that are starting to make that even more possible. For example, Plaud, Plaud, have a tool for recording. And it's very small and it slips on the back of your phone, or you can get the one that goes on your wrist. And it records everything you say or do just when you press record and transcribes it. And it'll give you summaries and all sorts of stuff. And you can go back to that. So it's a really good tool. But even with your phone, for example, I've got a Google Pixel and on that we have Recorder. And Recorder automatically transcribes anything it's recording. So the minute I open it up, I can open it up on the web through a browser, or I can open it up on the phone. Doesn't make any difference. I have my recording of my voice and I have the transcription straight away. So having tools that are around you all the time, being aware of them, maybe put a shortcut on your homepage of your phone that you just press, opens it and you press record, and then you can just sit there. It's amazing how powerful some of these tools are, as in reception wise. I've sat at the back of a room with recorder on and it has easily listened to and typed up everything someone's saying at front of room more than 10 or 15 meters away.
Wow.
There's no problems because the microphones are so sensitive on our devices. Most people don't realize quite how powerful they are.
That brings up an interesting side note, and we perhaps need to do a whole podcast topic on this. But copyright and protecting your own IP when you're presenting. If you're the speaker and someone's sitting there at the front of the show and they're recording everything you say like that, and then they take it away and extrapolate it out through AI and regenerate it, how do we feel about that as speakers? And I'd be interested to know from feedback for this one whether or not that is a podcast topic we should really focus on, and maybe even get in an expert to talk about that.
Yeah, but it's definitely another topic, so let's not go down that road.
Let's not go down that path, but yes, we definitely do need to come back to it.
Yeah. In your original discussion, when we were talking about expanding the main points out to short courses or workshops, And this is a key one because you've created the content. It's easy enough to turn things into a short course. It's a matter of just sitting down and recording them. And you can probably use your same PowerPoint, but add in a couple of extra slides that takes people deeper
Yeah.
and then sell that as a micro course. It really wouldn't be difficult. The only thing is you could pre-sell it. In other words, you could say to people, I'm going to present this as a workshop. And if you'd like to buy it, go to this link and put your name down and I'll send it to you or whatever. Or you can, if you're repeating the same speech each time, well, you can use it and then next time sell it from stage. So having a range of little courses that you can sell to go with your work is great. Most people tend to see a course as a separate thing. So then they've got to sit down and plan it and all that. But it doesn't have to be that complex if you're doing a micro course. Why not use your existing PowerPoint and just put a few deeper slides?
It's one of those things, like if you're doing a keynote, for example, that is still only a snippet of the information that you have as an expert on the topic. It's a really great taster of how brilliant you might be on the expanded version of that topic. So you can't possibly put everything into one presentation. It's the same as you can't put everything into one book or one chapter of one book if you're doing an anthology process. But what you can do is make sure that people think this is so good that they want more. And so they will book in for a course or a workshop that is representative of maybe 4 or 5 hours of your time, or even 2 or 3 hours of your time. And so you get to expand on what you've presented to them. And then if they really love that and you've got so much more to share, then put them into a program that might be 6 months or 12 months long. And then if they really love what you have to offer in that way, then do some one-on-one consulting or get them to bring you into their company so you can share even more of what you have to offer. But
yeah, and if you don't have a lot of time, why not just take your presentation, add your extra slides in and offer it as a online workshop that you deliver via Zoom or something, and then record it while you're doing the Zoom. And then you can cut up afterwards. So you don't have to just sit there in front of a dead screen and do it. You can do it with an audience if you want to.
That's right. Yeah. So those are some really good ways of making more out of what it is that you've so far worked really hard to get perfected.
Yeah, because if you work it out, we talk for an average of, say, 30 to 45 minutes. The normal human talks 120 words per minute. That's a heck of a lot of words. That's a book's worth of words when you think about it.
And
Not
45
that I can do maths.
Yeah, no, maths might be out there.
There we
but
go.
definitely a
That's
solid chapter. That's 3,000 to 5,000 words, which is not a full book, but it is.
No, it's not a book. It's
Yeah.
5,400.
Just
Nah.
a couple of chapters, but it's a great
Anyway.
lead magnet quality content. That is a good lead magnet, and having the ability to persuade people from the stage with 5,000 odd words of what you want them to start thinking about engaging you with for further content and sharing is powerful. So make every word count and then make sure they've got options for more of those great words. Take that out to
Exactly.
10,000 words, or a book's worth of words is 30 to 50,000 words. That is 6 months worth of content, or that is several hours worth of content.
Yeah, I've written here like package highlights into lead magnet or ebook, which is exactly where you're going.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key thing is you can take those highlights and you can use them. And again, this is where you can use AI to extrapolate out your transcript and make it neater and tidy it up to make it into something like that. And then you can go back and put it in whatever format you want.
So here's one of the things on my list about what you can do to maximize your earning ability from a presentation. Take some of your isms, like your own, in your case, Brad-isms or Dixie-isms. Take some of those that come out that you use when you're speaking, or some of your PowerPoint pieces that are your one-liners. Put them onto coffee mugs. Put them onto merchandise that you can then share and sell for additional revenue. Some people will love the fact that you say things a certain way, or that you have a specific couple of isms that are uniquely yours that they want to tell other people about. So, you can do that really well. You can also take your PowerPoint pieces of information or your photos, or if you've got unique photos or slides, and turn those into something that's like a screensaver set, or put them into a calendar. Like getting really creative, thinking right outside the box. Why not use those?
Exactly. And I think that this is where, for example, I've done some show notes from one of our previous presentations. And the first thing it does when you're using AI is it'll go through and it'll pull out quotes, golden quotes and things like that. And so you can actually find them yourself, or you can actually send AI off and get it to do it. I'm always thinking of leveraging because everything takes time, but it will often pick out things that you don't think are interesting. We'll go, actually, no, that is interesting. You've said here, for example, as Nike says, just do it, then practice. Yeah. You'd probably go, oh, that's Nike, I'm not going to use that. But the extra bit you added makes it makes it unique.
Another thing you can do is you can take some of your, if you've got a checklist or a set of bullet points, you can take those and put them onto a page that people can then print out as a PDF or as a big file that they can put, you can put lots of color on, sticks it on their fridge, etc. And they can pay for that. If you want to download this particular fabulous poster of what I've just said, go to my website.
Yeah, I've done that actually with some of my leadership quotes from my fire stuff. I've taken some of my fireground photos and actually taken them into Canva and actually overlaid the words using a layout from Canva, put my picture in the background. I then export that as a high quality PDF or a PNG. And you can go to Redbubble, for example, which is one place that sells things online. All you need to upload the image and they will print and frame and ship it for you. And people can buy those. And it costs you nothing to do. You can have your own shop. So you can have your own range of merch. And all you need to do is actually upload the image. It's really simple. I don't think people know how simple it is. So if you don't know how simple it is, go and look at Redbubble. And you'll be blown away by the mouse mats and the stickers and the posters and the shower curtains.
Yes.
You can be everywhere.
Cushions. Everyone needs more cushions, right?
That's right. So yeah, absolutely. There's so many ways to monetize what you do.
Yeah.
And if you've got some great sayings, or even if you don't think you've got some great sayings, why not try it? You don't know. Some of those things look fantastic on t-shirts.
Yeah.
I mean, we all walk around with slogans on ourselves these days from other companies. Why not have someone walk around with yours?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's something that a lot of people don't think about doing, is actually capturing what their own isms are. I tell everybody that I work with to focus on doing that, because we all have unique ways of saying and doing things.
Yeah, absolutely. We all think differently. So the one other thing I had is using your audience feedback to shape your next product or service. I think this is a good one, because when you get on stage, you get people afterwards who ask you questions. And if you are recording those questions, it's a good time. You can review them later, or you can make notes about it. It's up to you how you do that. That's fine. And that way you can go back and go, you know what? I got asked that question the last 3 times I've been places. Maybe I should create something for that. Maybe I should do a presentation on that, or maybe that's a workshop. The key thing, of course, is making sure that you capture people's details so that you can then invite them to that workshop. When you're standing in front of people all the time and you're not capturing lists, it's something that we're guilty of for sure, then it makes it much harder when you do create something to actually sell it. Because even though lots and lots of people know you and lots of people seen you, you have no way of actually reaching them. So it comes back to our previous podcast about creating an email. Is sure you capture people. So have something as part of your presentation to capture people, so that when you get those ideas and you create products that would help the people who are in that room for that presentation, you can reach out to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good points. All right. So we expect to see lots of people making a lot more money out of all of their content going forward from just this conversation.
Absolutely. Remember, it all starts with getting a recording. You need to record yourself. Doesn't have to be fancy.
Yeah.
But that's a good place.
It starts with the draft, thinking about what it is that you do. Speaking of which, my book, Start with the Draft, helps people to capture that information really well and to plan that content. So,
exactly. And my book, Microcourse Profits, Building a 7-Figure Income with Bite-Sized Courses, helps you take that and turn it into money. Well,
So,
thanks for tuning in with the Expert's Journey. If you picked up some useful tips today, please take a moment to like and subscribe and share this episode with a fellow speaker or expert in your network. It really helps us reach more people. We'll catch you next time.